Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive from the Moores Global Finance Podcast team. I'm John, and I'm joined today by Tiffany, our expert for today's topic. We're going to do a deep dive into legacy precious metals. This is a company that you might have seen or heard about if you're interested in diversifying your retirement portfolio.
Yeah, it's definitely a smart move to be thinking about that, especially now. We've all been through some economic ups and downs lately, and I think everyone's feeling a little anxiety, looking for stability. Legacy precious metals seems to be making some noise.
They are, and for good reason, too, right? I mean, they've got some pretty big names
Yeah.
endorsing them, like Newt Gingrich. They're appearing on Fox News and Bloomberg. Their whole approach seems to be education first, which
Yeah.
I really like that. They're not just trying to push a sale.
Yeah, absolutely. That focus on education is such a breath of fresh air, especially in an industry that can be a little bit murky. And when it comes to your money, you want to make sure you understand what's going on, right? So let's break this down. What is legacy precious metals?
Well, from what I've seen, they're all about helping people protect their wealth and build a secure financial future. And they do that with precious metals, mostly gold and silver. And it seems like their focus is on using a gold IRA to do that.
Yeah, exactly. They help you navigate the world of precious metal investing, particularly in the context of retirement planning. And it's a smart move. Think about the current economic climate. Inflation worries, volatility in the stock market. People are looking for something tangible, something that's held its value for a long time. That's where gold and silver come in.
Yeah, right. It's like that old saying, they're not making any more land. But in this case,
Yeah.
we're talking about precious metals. And speaking of endorsements,
Yeah.
what do you make of Newt Gingrich and Jenna Ellis supporting legacy precious metals? Does that give them some legitimacy?
It definitely adds a level of credibility. Gingrich, with his political background, brings a sense of authority. I mean, people trust him. Ellis, he's a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of suggests that legacy precious metals is serious about compliance and security. That's really important when you're dealing with your finances.
Absolutely. And then there's all the media coverage. Fox News, Bloomberg, Forbes. These are some big names. It's not every day you see a company like this featured in these outlets. So what do you think that says about them?
Well, it definitely speaks to their growing visibility, and it seems like they're trying to position themselves as experts in precious metal investing. They're not afraid to be in the spotlight to answer questions. But one thing I did find interesting is that they don't list their prices online.
Yeah, that's curious. Why do you think they would do that?
Well, it seems like they want to tailor their offerings to each individual's needs and goals. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, which I kind of like. So if you want the specifics, you have to actually reach out to them for a consultation.
So no online shopping cart for gold bars then?
Okay, that's fair. So what makes legacy precious metals different from all the other precious metal companies out there? Why should someone choose them?
Well, there are a few things that set them apart. Their education-first philosophy is a big one. They really want you to understand what you're doing before you do it. Yeah, I love that. I'm always wary of companies that try to push a product without explaining why you need it.
Right. And it seems like Legacy Precious Metals understands that. They offer a free downloadable guide on gold investing. And they really encourage people to have a conversation with their experts to get all their questions answered. It's not about the hard sell, it's about empowering you.
I like that a lot. But, let's be honest, a lot of people get nervous when it comes to investing, especially in precious metals. It seems risky and the high-pressure sales tactics don't help. Does legacy precious metals do anything to address that?
They do. They really focus on taking a consultative approach. They're not aggressive. They want you to feel good and confident about the choices you make. And they take the time to understand what you want and need.
Okay, that's reassuring. What about after I buy something? Let's say things change and I need to sell my precious metals. Can I do that?
Absolutely. They have a buyback program, so you can sell your metals back to them. That gives you a safety net and a sense of control. You're not going to lose everything. And you have peace of mind.
That's a nice feature.
Right.
Takes some of the stress out of it. Okay, so let's talk about price. Are they competitive? Any hidden fees?
From what we've seen, they're really transparent about their pricing, and they don't have any hidden fees. They work directly with suppliers, so that probably means they can offer good prices too.
Okay, that's a plus. It sounds like they're trying to be upfront with their customers. But this whole thing about precious metals getting delivered to your door, that sounds almost too good to be true. Is it really that simple?
It is. They offer secure home delivery of your precious metals. It's something you can actually hold in your hand. It's not just numbers on a screen. And they're fast, too. They ship quickly.
Wow, they really do seem to be doing everything they can to make this easy. Okay, but let's talk about the metals themselves. We keep hearing about gold and silver. Why are those two so important to legacy precious metals? What's so special about them?
Well, that's at the heart of their strategy for helping you build a secure financial future. And there are some good reasons for that focus. Well, both gold and silver are seeing a lot more demand these days, especially as a hedge against inflation. Gold, it's got a long history of holding its value when things get rough.
Yeah, it's like the original safe haven asset, right? When the market crashes, everyone runs to gold. What about silver, though? Isn't that a little more trendy these days?
Silver's got its own thing going for it. It's got a lot of industrial uses, and those are growing fast, especially in tech. So as technology keeps growing, the demand for silver is only going to go up, and that could mean some big gains.
So we're not talking about just pretty jewelry here. These metals have real uses and they hold their value.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see in uncertain times. So how does legacy precious metals actually help you invest in these metals, especially when we're talking retirement planning? We've mentioned this Gold IRA thing a few times. What is that exactly?
Ah, yes, the Gold IRA. This is where things get interesting. It's basically a self-directed IRA. But instead of holding stocks or bonds, you hold physical gold. It's a way to diversify your portfolio with something real, something tangible.
Okay, so I'm not just investing in some abstract thing. I'm actually owning the gold, like I could hold it in my hand.
Well, not quite. The IRS has some rules about how you have to store gold in an IRA. It has to be kept in a secure IRS-approved
Yeah.
depository. But the important thing is you own those coins or bars. You're not just holding a piece of paper that says you own something.
I see. So it's like my gold is tucked away safely, but it's mine.
Yeah.
So why bother with this? What's the benefit of having a gold IRA compared to just buying some coins and keeping them myself?
There are definitely some benefits to a gold IRA. First, there's the tax advantage. Like with a traditional IRA, contributions to a gold IRA might be tax deductible, and your investments grow tax deferred until you retire. That can save you a lot of money, especially later on.
So I'm basically getting a tax break while I build my nest egg with something real. I love that.
Mm.
What else makes gold IRAs so great?
There's the stability. We've already talked about how gold holds its value when the economy is shaky. Inflation, stock market crashes. Gold tends to act as a buffer. It can protect your savings.
That peace of mind is important these days. It feels like the economy's all over the place.
Exactly. And don't forget about control. With a gold IRA, you get to choose exactly what you invest in. Coins bars a mix of both. It's all about what you want and your risk tolerance. It's about taking control of your retirement and making choices that you feel good about.
I like that sense of control. So let's say I want to open a gold IRA with legacy precious metals. What's that process like? Is it complicated?
It's actually pretty easy, and they'll help you through it. The first step is to choose an IRS-approved custodian.
Wait, hold on. What's a custodian?
It's basically a financial institution that takes care of your IRA assets. They handle all the paperwork, make sure you're following the rules, and keep your precious metals safe.
So they're like the gold guardians.
Yeah.
Making sure everything's legal and safe.
Exactly. They're the link between you and your precious metals. Once you've got a custodian, you'll work with legacy precious metals to fill out some forms, give them your info, things like your financial goals.
Paperwork,
Yeah.
the necessary evil. So what happens after the paperwork?
Then comes the fun part. You get to fund your account. You can roll over money from an existing retirement account or add cash directly. Legacy precious metals can walk you through the different options.
Okay, so the money's there. So can I get my gold now?
Not quite yet. The next step is to choose what gold you actually want to buy. Do you like coins better or bars? They'll help you figure out the best option for you.
So many options. It's like a gold buffet. But where does this gold actually go? Do I need to buy a bigger safe?
That's where those IRS-approved depositories come in. They're super secure facilities made for storing precious metals. Your custodian will help you set up storage, or you can choose a depository yourself.
So it's like a high-tech vault for my gold, with guards and everything.
Yeah, exactly. They have tons of security measures like armed guard, surveillance, and insurance. Your investment will be safe.
Okay, that makes me feel better. So what about the gold itself? Is it just coins and bars, or are there other options?
Well, for gold IRAs, you can't just buy any gold. The IRS has rules about what kind of gold is allowed. Luckily, Legacy Precious Metals has already figured that out for you. They offer a selection of IRA-approved coins and bars.
So not all gold is the same to the IRS. What are some of the coins they have?
They've got some really cool options, each with their own history. You could go for the American Gold Eagle, made with gold from the US. Or maybe the Canadian gold maple leaf. It's super pure and has that iconic maple leaf design. They even have the Australian gold kangaroo. The design changes every year. It's great for collectors.
Wow, it's like a history lesson and an art show all in one. What about silver, though? What if I like silver better? Does Legacy Precious Metals have anything for silver fans?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They haven't forgotten about silver. Silver IRAs are set up just like gold IRAs. It's another way to diversify with the precious metal. And silver's got its own unique story and potential.
So a silver IRA is basically the same as a gold IRA, but with silver.
Got it.
What about the silver they offer? Do they have a lot of choices there too?
Absolutely. They've got all kinds of IRA-approved silver coins, like the American Silver Eagle, the
Hmm.
Canadian Silver Maple Leaf, the Australian Silver Kangaroo, and many more. Each one has its own story to tell. It's like adding a little bit of history to your portfolio.
Okay, so we've talked about like legacy precious metals philosophy, their customer service, gold and silver IRAs, and the metals themselves. Now, let's talk about what people are actually saying about them. What's their reputation like?
Yeah, that's a really important question. It's one thing to hear what the company says about themselves, but it's more important to know what their customers are saying. What's the real story? So we did some research to see what kind of reputation they have. On Trustpilot, they have a pretty good rating, 4.3 out of 5 stars, based on 12 reviews. So it seems like most people are happy with them.
That's good to hear. I always like seeing positive reviews from real people. What about other sources, though? Did you find anything different?
We did, actually. The Better Business Bureau, the BBB, gives legacy precious metals an F rating. That's the lowest score they give, which is kind of concerning.
Wow, an F. That's not good. What's going on there?
Well, the BBB has their own way of doing things, and sometimes it doesn't line up with what's actually happening with the company. In this case, there aren't any customer reviews for legacy precious metals on the BBB website, and the company isn't accredited by the BBB, so it's hard to say why they have that F rating.
Okay, so we shouldn't read too much into that one rating.
Exactly. It's best to look at everything as a whole, get info from different places, and then make a judgment. And when we look at the bigger picture with legacy precious metals, we see a company that seems to really care about transparency, educating their customers, and giving them control.
Right, and we can't forget about those endorsements from people like Newt Gingrich. That has to count for something. It suggests they're doing things the right
Oh,
way.
definitely.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're being featured in big media outlets
Yeah.
like Fox News, Bloomberg, and Forbes, it shows that they're a legitimate company. They're not hiding from anyone. They're putting themselves out there.
So even though there's that F rating from the BBB, it sounds like there's enough evidence to say that Legacy Precious Metals is a trustworthy company. They're transparent, they care about educating their customers,
Yeah.
and they have some big names supporting them. But let's go back to those customer reviews for a minute. What are people saying they like about Legacy Precious Metals? What are they doing well?
A lot of the positive reviews mention their customer service. They say it's really good. People talk about how knowledgeable and patient the staff are. One representative named Jeff gets mentioned a lot for being really helpful and supportive. Customers also like that the process is straightforward and that their precious metals are stored securely. And they appreciate that there's no pressure to buy anything. It seems like you're doing a good job of making people feel comfortable and confident.
That's great to hear. It sounds like they're hitting all the right notes when it comes to customer service and making the whole process as painless as possible.
But before we wrap up, I think it would be helpful to go over the pros and cons of working with legacy precious metals, just to give everyone a clear picture of what we've learned today.
That's a good idea. Let's start with the good stuff. What were some of the biggest advantages of choosing legacy precious metals that stood out to you? Well, for me, their no-pressure sales approach is a huge plus. It's so nice to see a company that focuses on educating you instead of trying to force you into buying something. And the buyback program is great too. It gives you that flexibility to sell back your metals
Mm.
if you need to. And of course, the transparent pricing with no hidden fees is always a good thing.
Yeah, you got all the main points. Their website is great too. It's super easy to use and find the information you need. Plus, they have those free downloadable guides we talked about earlier. Those are great resources for anyone who wants to learn more.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of making information easy to understand. But no company is perfect, right? What are some things people should be aware of before going with legacy precious metals?
One thing is that their website could have more information about the company itself. It would be nice to know more about their history, their leadership, and their overall track record.
Yeah, I agree with that. A little more transparency there would be good. And while they say they have transparent pricing, you can't actually see the prices on their website. You have
Mm.
to contact them for a quote.
Right, that could be a bit of a barrier for some people. It's harder to compare prices with other companies without going through that consultation process.
Okay, so there are a couple of areas where they could do better, but overall, it seems like Legacy Precious Metals has a lot to offer, especially for someone who wants to add some gold or silver to their retirement portfolio. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Based on everything we've looked at today, I think legacy precious metals is a reliable option for precious metals investing. They focus on education, customer service, and a personalized approach. That sets them apart from a lot of other companies out there.
It's nice to see a company that's genuinely trying to help people. Instead of just trying to make a quick profit, they have the experience, the expertise, and the transparency to be a solid choice for anyone who wants to invest in precious metals.
Absolutely. And as always, with any investment, it's important to do your own research. Don't just take our word for it. Look into it yourself, ask questions, and make sure you're comfortable with everything before making any decisions.
That's great advice. It's always best to be careful and do your homework. But I think it's safe to say that legacy precious metals is worth checking out if you're thinking about adding some precious metals to your retirement plan.
Yeah, definitely. And on that note, I want to leave everyone with a question to think about. Given how crazy the economy is these days, how can you use gold and silver to build a more secure and stable financial future for yourself? What steps can you take right now to explore those options and take control of your finances?
Those are some great questions, and we encourage everyone listening to dive deeper into this topic. Do your research, ask questions, and see how precious metals might fit into your overall financial plan. And remember, we're always here at the Deep Dive to help you navigate the world of finance
Yeah.
and make smart decisions.
Until next time, happy investing.